Here I am in a captured Turkish trench, tired and only now starting to dry out from the seawater. We'd only been returned home from China on the 12th of January 1915, having spent the early part of the war capturing the German port of Tsingtao with our Japanese allies. We did this in August 1914. We are the only British regiment to have a battle honour for China. We disembarked from Blighty in March, and we are part of the 87th Brigade of the 29th Division. Rumour is rife that we were going to fight the Turks, who had stopped our navy from sailing through the Dardanelles. Our job is to clear the way on the peninsula, so giving them access to the straits and onto Constantinople. It has taken us a few weeks to make our way. Early this morning, we made a historic landing at the first part of the Dardanelles called Cape Helles. This feat of arms which took place could not have been achieved by no other soldier in the world but seasoned Welsh lads, the British soldier. After the storms that followed us over the past few days, the sea was flat and calm. There was a mist hanging over the Morto Bay. We were slowly steaming towards Sedavar. At 0330 hours, we had Reveille. Breakfast was at 4 and parade on deck was at 4:30. Our orders were explained to us by the NCOs. I helped to get 2 days iron rations. Our 3 companies had to land at Morto Bay, codenamed S Beach. Our company were going to be on the extreme right. We were told that trawlers would take us in as far as possible. Then we were to take the rowing boats and row ashore. Once ashore, we had to take the hill 236 at 200 feet from the beach and take the Detop battery. At 0500 hours, the barrage from the ship's around started. It was deafening. I looked over the side and towards the beach. I saw the pounding it was getting and thought, no one's going to survive that. I saw HMS Cornwallis signal to our ship. That was our cue. We climbed down from the nets and got into the trawler, which was number 362. Our platoon sergeant was doing his best to calm us all down. I can't swim. He looked at me and said, don't worry lad, you'll be okay. Just remember your training. On getting on the trawler, we loaded our spare water and reserve ammo. We were then told to stand off from HMS Cornwallis. Once all the trawlers were all full, we followed the Cornwallis into the bay. As we were told, in towards the bay, the band of the Cornwallis started playing Men of Arlich on the deck. Once we got in the bay, as we drew nearer, the mist was now starting to completely disappear. We left the Cornwallis behind, and as we moved forward, I heard loud salvos, whoosh, over our heads from the fleet behind us. It was a fine sight. I could clearly see the shells bursting on the peninsula. But thank God, as yet, nothing was coming my way. At 0730, we were starting to get into the rowing boats. I was frantically helping to put in reserve water, ammunition, into our boat. On the signal from the Cornwallis, we started rowing for all our worth. Corp was shouting out, row, row, row. As we were 100 yards from the shore, we were now getting within range of the Turkish shells. One landed in the water close to us. I turned round as I was rowing. I saw them bursting in the water in front of us. I turned back to continue rowing. I was shaking all over. I began praying to myself. I looked over to my left. I could see the SS River Clyde. She was getting in very hot reception from Johnny Turk and the guns on the cliff above the beach. At 50 yards, our boat was receiving shells around us. Spray covers the boat. Bullets are also whistling around our ears too. I can see the Cornwallis behind us. She swept the beach and the cliff with shrapnel, and thanks to her, our boat escaped being scuppered. Suddenly, while rowing the boat, It grounded some distance from the shore. We were by now having tremendous sounds of bullets whizzing past. Corp screamed, "Get out, get out!" I dropped out of the boat. I was weighed down with full pack and ammunition. I was carrying 60 pounds of kit. With now being wet, my legs were buckling. I was waist deep in water. I then, with the rest of the other lads, started to haul the boat further up the beach. I saw one of B Company's boats get a direct hit. This resulted in 7 casualties, including the second lieutenant. I could see men in other boats also getting hit. They either fell out of the boat or slumped forward. From where I could see, their boats were coming under fire from Johnny Turk, lying in the trenches under the lee of the cliff, where our ships, with their guns, could not reach them. I somehow managed to drag myself up and bring the kit and the boat to shore. I looked at the beach. There was barbed wire everywhere. We were being shot at by rifle and machine gun fire. Anybody would have thought they already knew we were coming. The cliff in front of us looked to be rising straight out from the sea to a height of about 200 foot. Lads and I were wading thigh deep through the water for about 30 yards. The platoon sergeant yelled, "Come on lads, forward." I started making our way up the cliff. This was made more difficult as my puttees and trousers were wet through. The fleet must have seen where we were and moved their salvos further in. We got to the top of the steep cliff and I was exhausted. Just to my front, only yards away, there were defence walls and an old ruined fort. "This is Detot's battery," someone shouted. We fixed bayonets and rushed forward. We had no fire towards us and no Turk was in sight. I can't see why, when our shelling ceased, allowing us to charge, that Johnny Turk did not rush us straight away and push us back. We took the position with no opposition. It must have been a great virtue of surprise. We then set up an all-round defence, awaiting a counterattack that may come at any time. From where I was lying, I had a fantastic view of the other beaches being landed on. I saw the River Clyde had grounded on the point of the beach, with troops running out and falling into the sea. The view was one to behold and to be in awe. B and C Company then followed and collared the Turk trenches in the west side of the fort. By 8:30 hours, position was secured. On charging the trenches with bayonets fixed, we captured 15 Turks. They looked really scared and dirty. At 0900 hours, I could see the landing at said Bihar. However, from our vantage point, it did not appear to be a success. I could see troops trying to work up through the ruined village, but without success and heavy casualties. Just been told there's very excellent supply of water in the trees just below Detot's battery. Great, I'm gasping. I know I'm standing here. We are continually being shelled, but without doing much damage, thank God. They must be from the Turk guns at Cwm Cal. We are now being targeted by snipers from Hill 236. They are making us keep our heads down. News just come up from the line. We're to move out and forward to Hill 114. Johnny Turk is retiring on being shelled by the Queen Elizabeth. Okay lads, move out.